Good evening, it's Adam Franklin here. Today I'm going to talk you through another one of the templates from our book, Web Marketing That Works. Today's template is the blog post planning template. So this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of what to include on your blog posts. So let's take a look at my screen, and what you will see, this is the template we're working through today. And if you want to download it, just head to bluewiremedia.com.au/BPPT. That stands for Blog Post Planning Template. There's no opt-in required to get your hands on that to follow along at home. All right, so this is what the template looks like. There's all the different components. We're going to be going through and covering the headline, the hook, the photo, the body, the summary, and the call to action. So let's zoom in a little bit here and look at the first two components. All right, so the first thing we need to do is think about the headline. Now, what I like to do here is I actually like to start with a few ideas of what the headline could be, and then write a few different variations, then write the rest of the article, and then come back at the end to pick the best headline. Now, there's a few different things that I like to do for the headline, and if you have seen my Facebook Live video walkthrough of the SEO planning template, this is where the two sort of meld really well, because once we've done our keyword research and we know what keyword phrase we are targeting, we factor this in to the headline and also all the other stuff we're doing on our blog. So a really neat technique for a headline is to put your keyword at the front and then follow it by a interesting, appealing headline, and I'll show you some tools to use this to do that. So we want to start, this is a very safe way to approach a headline. So keyword and then a sort of like a title. And I'll show you an example of this as we go. I'm just going to flick over to the Bluewire blog. You will see here at the top there, this post just went live today. The keyword phrase we're targeting is create SEO friendly content. So we put that keyword phrase at the front of the headline, then we put a colon, and then we have the sort of catchy headline part. 5 cardinal rules to follow. So that's an example of a headline and a formula that you can follow yourself. So let me go back to my screen. There we go. So you can see there, keyword at the front and then a nice title. Another interesting tool that you may find useful is a headline generator tool from Sumo. I think it's called their Kick-Ass Headline Generator. And there's also a good one from SEMrush. It's just called a headline generator. So look up either of those plus the word headline generator, and it will give you useful tips on, well, it'll actually do it for you. It'll give you the headline. So let's head back to the website. Here's Sumo's. So if you're writing about, say, SEO, the desired outcome is to rank on Google. Undesirable outcome is being invisible. Number of points in the content, we've got 5 here. And then what it'll do is give you a whole bunch of different headline suggestions. So you can see here, there's 5 ways to rank on Google. There's 5 ways to rank on Google. Number 2 is our favorite. 5 proven methods for SEO. All right, so you can go ahead and get inspiration from this tool, the Sumo Kick-Ass Headline Generator. And if you're doing a numbered post, it gives you options. You can have how-to posts. You can have explanatory posts, strong or controversial posts. So again, you plug in what your topic's about, the desired outcome, etc., etc. Fill in the blanks down the side here on the left. And the headline generator gives you ideas. So that's one that I really like to use. So that's the headline. We also like to keep in mind that the first sentence of the blog post should be very appealing. Just like in the newspapers, they lead with a very strong sentence that hooks you in to read the rest of it. So that's the first part of the blog post planning template. Next up, we want to put in a photo, or if you like, a video. I personally like doing the videos, but I also include photographs as well. Now, 2 things to keep in mind with photos. It's always best to use your own, like photos you've actually taken, or photos you've actually created in Canva. So let's have a look here. Let's do some tools. So Canva, make your own photos, make your own graphics, or use your own photos. That's my best advice there. But alternatively, if that sounds like too much hard work, then you can look up royalty-free images on Unsplash, and as long as you attribute them properly, you're allowed to use those. But what is a big no-no is just borrowing pictures off Google Images. Don't do that. That's a big no-no. Because a lot of those images are copyrighted, so what that means is that you're not allowed to use them, and if you use them on your blog, you may very well get a very rude letter from people saying you owe us money because you breached the copyright of this image and you owe us money. So definitely don't do Google Images. Use Canva, use your own photos, or if you must, use Unsplash and attribute it properly. So let's go back and check out what that looks like in the real world. You can see here that there's an image on the screen and it's been attributed underneath to the appropriate photographer and links back to the site where it was obtained, and that is Unsplash. Okay. Now, the body copy, or the text, the main meat of the article. What we're looking to do is actually just break it out into subheaders. For those techie people, that's like an H2 or an H3 subheader. So don't worry if you don't know what that means. That's just technical language for what type of header you use in the HTML. So just use this framework to flesh out the framework of your article so that you can then write it. Again, if we're thinking back to the SEO video that I've done for you recently, bear in mind that this is where you would be including keyword rich subheaders. Now, I won't go into it now because I've gone onto it on a previous video, but basically what we want to do here is use some of the keyword research we've done to inform what might be useful and interesting based off the search criteria, based off the search data that we can be including in our blog post. So, moving on, the final part of the blog post planning template is to finish your article strongly. So what's always nice to do is to include a summary of the key main points, typically like in a paragraph, and finally have a call to action telling people what the next steps are. So maybe they've liked that article and you'd like them to leave a comment. Maybe they've liked that article and here's a resource that you can download that is going to be useful to you. So always lay out the next steps for your reader, and I'll show you how that works out in the wild. You can see here on this post that's just gone live on Bluewire's blog today, we've got the body. So we've got subheader 1, use long tail keywords. Subheader 2, another image appropriately linked and attributed. Subheader 3, subheader 4, subheader 5, as promised in the title. And then a conclusion, final thoughts. This was a guest blog by Diana, so we put a little author bio for her. And then we have the call to action. So the next steps. When you're ready, here are 5 ways we help consultants and advisors grow. So there's a range of different choices then people can click on to take the next steps. But we spell it out for the reader that these are the next steps. So that brings me to the end of this session on the blog post planning template. It's one of the templates in web marketing that works. There's plenty more. There's 33 in here. We've actually published quite a few more since this book came out. So I'm going to continue doing these Facebook Live video walkthroughs of all of our marketing templates. If you've enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. And of course, the link to download the template is in the description. I look forward to interacting in the comments. See you later.